How would an atheist parent discuss religion with their children? I told my kids what various friends and family members believe with a lot of kindness and insisted they understand how to be respectful toward others who believe differently than they might. A solid teacher should supply accurate, age-appropriate information and allow the student to come to their own conclusions. They don't need to be taught what to think, only how to think. It very rarely comes up. They've never been in a church, and as far as they're concerned, Sundays are just another day. I think my eldest was around 8 when he asked about souls or something and what I believed in. And I said belief is up to the individual. I'm a scientist, so I just explained where atoms came from. And now if anyone asks, he says we came from exploded stars. My youngest has never asked. My atheist parents sent me to Catholic school when I was little because they mistakenly thought private school would give me a better education, even if it meant having to explain what all the Jesus stuff meant. Basically, they told me it was like Santa Claus, that God was just pretend. But it makes people happy to believe in him. So I should always be kind and just humor adults who talk to me as if he's real. They encouraged me to engage with the Bible from the standpoint that it was a book of fables to help people learn to be good to each other. The story of Goldilocks and the 3 bears didn't really happen either, but it had important lessons in it anyway. We talk about what people in various parts of the world, at various points in history, believed. Buddha, Zeus, Ra, Odin, Jesus, Muhammad. Everyone gets briefly discussed. We've talked about religion, what it is, and how people have lots of different ideas, and it's important to be kind even when we believe different things. He asked what I believe, and I said I don't believe any gods are real. And that when we die, that's it. We're gone. He wanted to see what church was like. I told him everyone should make their own minds up about stuff, and if he wants to go, he can. Now he goes to church with my mom and sister when he wants. And he knows that I'm not going. He asked why I don't believe, and I've said some of the rules are silly and mean. Like how you can be a good person and go to hell for not believing. Or be a bad person and go to heaven because you do. That some people use God to justify being mean to others. That I think religion is a way to feel better about dying. That it's a way to try to explain things we don't understand yet. Answers given in a matter-of-fact tone. And not all at the same time. He still asks questions. We still talk about them. He still goes to church when he wants. We'll see what happens next. ETA, we've talked about other religions too, like Judaism and Buddhism and even the Greek gods and goddesses. Depends on what kind of atheist they are. Some might be perfectly fine with talking about religion. It's impossible to raise a kid in a lot of places without them noticing some people talk about God a lot. Depends on their feelings about religion. A pretty neutral way to do it is to say that some people believe in the existence of a being that created all things and wants people to live a certain way, and our family doesn't believe in this entity. Let them know if they want to believe in it, they can make their mind up on their own. I was raised secular in a very Catholic state. I never believed or wanted to. And to me, church was just something we didn't do. We still celebrated Christmas, Easter in the American way. So that's something to unpack. Both my parents had different strategies. My dad was more agnostic, saying things like, who knows what's really out there, and my mom was more practical. Like, IDK read a book. They always pointed me towards the right sources, like watching Cosmos together or nurturing my interest in science. So I think it's more about redirecting. I explain Christianity the same way I explain the Egyptian gods and ghosts. Some people think, insert belief here, quote, Depends on the family, of course. But usually it's no different from parents explaining any other thing. Edit. By the way, your wording seems to suggest you think atheism is the opposite of religion. It's not, of course. Atheism is the opposite of theism. One can be both an atheist and religious, since there's non-theistic religions. My mom was never an atheist, but we never attended church and religion wasn't really discussed a whole lot. Basically, when I had questions, she answered them and told us that it was up to us what we believed. I was always welcome to attend churches with friends if I felt like it. So, I learned that way also. Later found out that religion wasn't for me. She said it made her a little sad that I didn't believe in something bigger, but again, it was my choice to believe whatever felt right. I think that was handled really well. My mom told me that there are religions that each have their own beliefs. She said that while she doesn't have one, she'd be more than happy to take me to a church or anywhere else if I researched and wanted to check some out. Basically that it's all good for me to make my own choice. I never RLLY got into one, but my brother researched a bunch before deciding what to become. We had a book called Religions of the World, and I use a similar one with my daughter. They just explained in simple terms what other people believe in. My father was Richard Dawkins' level of atheist, so our conversations were pretty blunt at a young age. I'm a little less with my own daughter. Edit. As a kid, I myself was raised in a pretty passive household when it came to religion. Like, we absolutely didn't have religion in our home. So atheist. However, we did pray when family or friends asked to do a prayer before meals, funerals, etc. And I was always given the opportunity to explore religion and make my own conclusions. I also had a Bible from my grandmother that I read cover to cover one year, which aided my decision as a child, which was to be an atheist like my mother but respectfully join in prayer in certain social situations. Wife of an atheist here as well. I'm currently spiritual but not religious. My husband allowed the older children, around 5-ish, go to church with trusted family members and family friends. Then went as a family to my old church one time. More spiritual than any specific denomination, which is why I liked it. And then let them decide if they wanted to go again. We explained that there is no wrong answer when it comes to religion, belief systems, as long as it doesn't harm anyone else in any way. So no extremist stuff or encroaching on others' rights due to personal beliefs. They personally chose to be atheists as well. And we respect their choices and let them know that if they change their mind on religion or have questions that they want to explore, that is okay, and we will help them as best as we can. Or find the best resources, person to answer their questions. My parents said things along the lines of, there are many religions out there. In this country, Christianity is the largest one. It's impossible to prove there is not a God, but we don't believe just because you can't prove a negative. We think all religions are made up by people to explain what they did not understand and to provide a moral framework. We don't think it is necessary to turn to religion in order to care for other people. But feel free to research religion. If you decide that you want to belong to one religion or another, it's fine and we'll still love you. But never let religion be a reason to hate someone else. Other people believe in these things, and it's important to be respectful of them even if they aren't true. I explained how various cultures all over the world have stories they tell as a way to teach lessons, and that some people take it way too literally. Then he asked me what a sin is, and how kids in school told him he was bad because he sinned, and I told him to ignore anybody who says that. You tell them it's like Santa Claus for adults. I explain it like the Christian father explains Islam or Buddhism to their kids. Both of my parents are atheist. When we were kids, my parents explained that different people come from different places and believe different things. They took us to as many different churches, temples, etc. as they could. We'd spend a few months at each. Basically, they wanted us to see what was out there and experience different cultures. They wanted the door open for us to decide what we wanted to believe. If anything, my sister is religious, spiritual now, and I'm an atheist, but we both have a deep respect for other people's belief systems.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Aircast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.